Welcome to the Studying Brew, episode 1017 on this beautiful Thursday evening. It is the last Studying Brew of the week, but never fear, we are always with you. If you're a member, you still got sessions Friday, you got them Sunday, so you only have like one day away from us. But for everybody else, it is the last of the free for the week. And we are happy to be here because tonight is going to be content, techniques. It's going to be something. You're going to learn it. But I know what I tell you, boring is prohibited. We are not going to have a boring session. It's not going to suck. I know you used to going to those studying sessions with other people. I know that it sounds like a lesson in ASMR and you just fall asleep into your study book. So boring. I'm not going to lie. It's really boring. But we ain't going to do that tonight. Nope, we're not. It's going to be fun. My name is Andy. I am the guy that's running the back office over here who has his microphone securely in the right position. Those that are the one that is not quite sure on their microphone position is Brandi, but you're not here for that. You're here for her knowledge of the Series 6, 63, 26, 65, and her Series 7, which makes her more than qualified to teach you all the things you need to know so that way you too can pass a securities license. Maybe not so much not hit the microphone on a live recording, but that's not here nor there. I don't know how you guys don't hear that. It's so loud on this side. It's so loud. The other thing I found out yesterday. All right, fixing that. All right, everybody, let's do this thing. I want to talk about quitting. I want to talk about giving up. I want to talk about people not. I give up. Let's just do it.
No,
I forget it.
Go. Let's go.
I try to stay on track.
Seriously.
Do you need a fidget toy or something? Good grief.
Go for it.
Anyways, I want to talk about quitting, guys, and disappointment. Look, things might not work out the way you want it to. And so often, like, we don't get a score that we want. We don't have the pass notice that we want. We're not seeing the success that we want immediately. We watch a video or three, or maybe we go to a live session. We do this thing for a week and we think we should be able to pass the exam in about 2 days. That's, I mean, literally, there's a lot of study groups out there. There's a lot of study preps out there who promise that kind of result right off the bat. Mm-hmm. Hey, go to my course over the weekend, learn everything, and you'll pass on Monday. Just pay me $150 and you'll learn everything you need to know and you'll be ready to take the test next week. Let's go, right? True. I'm trying not to take their catchphrases because I don't want to point a finger at anybody, but there's quite a few out there.
There's a few.
And that's not the case. It's not the case at all. And I hate to tell you this, guys, but sometimes we don't master everything the first time we try it. We don't necessarily are the masters of the universe the first time we watch a video, right? Although some of you think you should. That's like literally saying, like, you know, hey, I was so cool, like my mom just, like, you know, basically stood me up one day and I just ran, bro. I didn't even crawl. I didn't wobble. I didn't fall. I didn't like even walk. I just went straight to run. That didn't happen. That didn't even happen. There's levels to that run. First, you had to learn how to even sit up. Then you had to crawl. Then you had to, like, use your legs and learn how to balance yourself against something. And then you took a step or two. And then you fell a lot on your big diapery butt. And then you learned how to walk one step at a Bambi step at a time, you know? And then you fell again, and you fell again, and you fell again, and you fell again, and you fell and fell. Until one day you're walking. And you still had a lot of falls, but you know what? You got better, and you got better, and you got faster and faster and faster. And some of you might have gone off at one point, ran track and set records at how fast you could run. That's how well you did it and or do it. But it didn't start off that way, did it? Even in school, you probably weren't even that, let's say, quick with it, right? You weren't like the fastest learner. You weren't the best at it or best reader in the school or the class, right? Some of us had to struggle with it. Some of us had a learning ability that we didn't know we had, right? I don't like using disability because that's a mental thing. I think we didn't have that ability that we didn't know we had, and we had to work around it. We had to work with it. We had to figure it out. We had to make it happen. My point of this whole thing is The very sales of disappointment that you think that you're on, the boat that you're on with the sails of disappointment and the wind of just not making happen, that's in your sails on the ship that you're sailing across life, you think it's carrying you to the shores of disappointment and loss and failure. But in fact, those same sails that you think are sails of disappointment are sailing you to the shores of hope. They're sailing you to the shores of victory. They're sailing you to the shores of whatever it is that you put your mind to. That's where you're supposed to go. But so many times people don't even ride the ride. They don't even let that boat get to that shore. They stay anchored in the harbor and they go, you know what? I'm just not going to make it anyway. You don't even give a chance. You think that you're going to learn this stuff right off the bat? You think that everything's going to be easy? There's levels to this. And you got to like stick with it. Wherever those winds are taking you, realize it could be a shore that is exactly where you're supposed to land. And when you get there is when you get there. We have an expectation. We have goals that we set timelines around. And if it doesn't happen in that goal or a timeline, so many of you stop. So many of you stop. They're like, oh, I only had, like, I should have got it in 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever, how many weeks or 2 weeks or 1 week, whatever timeline you set up that you think that your brain should like absorb all this and go pass an exam. And you're like, oh, that was my expectation. I guess I won't get it. Oh, I took the exam. I scored horribly. When in reality, you're only like 5% away, or maybe 10%. 10 questions, 5 questions. Well, that's it. Not made for this. Oh, let's take 8 months off because I'm scared to get like a bad score again, and then I gotta wait. Dude, that's all you guys all think. What the heck are you waiting for? And some of you are so fearful of that 6-month wait. If you don't pass on that third one, oh, it's my third attempt. I'm gonna have to wait 6 months. And then guess what happens? You wait like a year before you attempt again. You're worried about 6 months and you waited a year to try the third one. Dude, you could have had 2 more attempts in there if you would have just kept after it like a champ. You know what I mean? There was a guy that we had pass, Uriel. Dude, guy barely spoke English.
Mm-hmm.
Barely spoke any English.
True.
And he was like, man, he goes, let me tell you, if you guys don't know how to get to the exam center and you have to look up the navigation every single time, you're not trying hard enough. He's like, dude, I don't know how many times it took me to get the SIE because I don't understand English. But once he figured out how to use the keywords to his advantage, he didn't even care. He didn't care. He's like, all I need to know is these words, connect it, go past the exam. He did. He passed. Once he figured that out, SIE was done. 6 was done the first time. 63 was done the first time. 26 was done the first time. Bam, bam, bam. Like literally one after another. Sometimes it's just a combination of figuring out what is you on that first one, and then the rest fall on dominoes. Like Selene. I know she's on here. It took her dang forever to get the dang SIE done. Dude, like she would start, she would stop, she would start, she'd stop, she'd start, she'd stop, she'd start, she'd stop. And then finally she just said enough's enough, figured it out, and then was like, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks she passed the SIE after really figuring it out and committing. And then it was what, another 3 weeks exactly? She passed the Series 6.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Mm-hmm. That's all it was. That's all you needed. That's all she needed. And she's not the only one. Arlene was the same way. I could go down the list. But it's just that first combination that always is sticky. And then once you get past it, you're good. So don't quit if it's not going right. Keep at it and figure out what it is that you need to do. Or maybe, quite frankly, it is your discipline that is lacking. This weekend, we got a lot of stuff going on, don't we? We got parties, we got some birthdays, we probably got some Christmas office stuff going on. Somebody wants you to bake some cookies with them. Somebody wants you to sit around the house and get in your jammies and watch Hallmark all day. I don't know what you've been invited to this weekend. It doesn't matter. Maybe you just got a life and it's busy. You got kids, you got all this. You don't even have time for the jammy moment. And it just even the fact that people have that time just almost makes you sick because you're so busy. You know what I mean? You might be salty like that. It doesn't matter. You got to get your study in early in the day, get it knocked out, open up your weekend, and you can do those things. Go make connections with people. Your business needs it. Get outside, meet people, but have that study time in the morning. Make you the person that you need to focus on first thing in the morning. Go get your exercise in, get your water intake in, go stretch, go whatever, go take your shower, however you do it in the morning. Study. Start your day afterwards and then be done. And then it doesn't matter. This weekend, make sure you get locked in. Don't be one of those people who are waiting for January 1st to roll around to finally get serious with it. I'm waiting for January 1st because that's when magic happens. And then I get really serious. No, it's not. It's just another day. Discipline starts now. There's no difference between learning how to be disciplined now and on January 1st. In fact, if you start now with the baby steps, you'll be locked in on January 1st. You already started the development. You already started the calendar. You already made the start and make the sacrifices. You're starting to figure it out. January 1st, you're rolling through it. To start on January 1st is like, that's why most people quit whatever their resolutions are by the first week. Because they realize, oh, it's the same person that I was in December that I didn't make any adjustments for is the same person who's starting on January 1st. Guys, the process of change takes a minute. The reason why people don't change their habits, the reason why people don't level up, the reason why people don't learn or grow or anything after a certain age, because it's too hard and it's not immediate. It's not a reel on Instagram. It's not a TikTok of development. It's literally having to sit with you, the hardest person to sit with, the most difficult person to deal with is you, because we rationalize things. We make excuses for ourselves. We can't be honest with ourselves most of the time. But once we figure it out and we say, you know what, that's it, we're good. But you got to have that conversation with you and you got to make that commitment. And let's start it now. Let's start the January 1st movement now, weeks before it even happens. Let's go. 2025 is around the corner. And if you haven't not started with KonaButterflyz, it is time to get into those courses. We got 21-day plans for the SIE 6, 63, 26. We got a 30-day, 60-day program for the 65. We even got something for the Series 7. We got 20% off all of our tiers right now. We got it till the 7th, which is Saturday. So if you haven't joined up, join up. We got study guides available for the SIE 6 and 63. We even got something for the 26. 65 has 10 days left. We got the Discord coming. We already have it out. Discord community. We got that going on. The study groups, all that great stuff. Join in with that positivity. Brandi's trying to do the math. She's like, that's not 10 days.
I already counted it. It's 11.
You wanted to argue with me, and then you were like, oh, it's only 11.
No. I already counted it.
I know. I could see the wife's face. Wait, it's not 7.
Hey, there's a big difference between 9 and 11.
I got one more day. I said 10.
Whatever. Same difference.
Scan the QR code, hit the links. Phone number is there, 951-290-3077. And let's go. All right. Tomorrow we do have the SIE live. Tomorrow, if you're studying the SIE, you should definitely be there. If you are studying the SIE, definitely be there. If you're studying the 65,
why not be there?
I would be there. Tomorrow is a big day because it's options day. And not only is it options day, but it is learning how to do options with Brandi. And you don't want to learn how to do options with Brandi because most people struggle with options. They can't wrap their brains around a call and a put, the buy and the sell, the long and the short, all that great stuff. Is it a contract? Is it not a contract? I don't get it, Brandi. I don't get it, Brandi. I don't understand it. Guess what? Tomorrow is the day because she's going to show you how to learn this stuff with a live quiz, really going over those keywords and those connections, right? You want to be there. And then right after that, we got exam mastery. She's going to do a live quiz. You never know what exam she's going to use. Last week, she used all Series 65. People didn't even know it. Anyways, she's going to go over a live quiz. She's going to show you how she does it, how she approaches it. If you're getting ready to take an exam tomorrow, if you're going to take an exam tomorrow, somebody on here is going to take an exam tomorrow.
Mhm.
Somebody's going to take an exam tomorrow, and you could be in that all exam mastery class tomorrow.
Yeah.
That would be your last minute of like, hey, I don't understand something. Brandi, can you break this down for me? I bet you she would. Because that's why we have those live sessions. It'd be a great time to do that. In fact, if you want to do that, I would message her so that way she can break those down for you in that live session so you can do a little bit of a study before you go in. Get rid of some anxiety, maybe if you have it.
I'd be on earlier during the SIE, maybe the second.
If you knew who somebody was who had
Yeah.
an exam,
I would be on at 10:30 a.m.
maybe be at 10:30 a.m. if they were taking an exam tomorrow. Nobody specific that would be on right now that I don't want to point out, but is on.
Right.
Maybe be on at 10:30 a.m.
Yeah. And I would answer any.
Maybe answer some of those last minute questions. Just saying. I don't want to point at anybody in Oregon.
Right.
Just saying. Might be somebody in Oregon taking a test tomorrow. Be on at 10:30 a.m. Get that last minute questions in. Now I have their attention.
Now she's gonna be
Okay.
like,
Now she's zeroed in.
All
All right, let's get this thing going. Ready? She's all, it's at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
No,
I actually don't know.
I have no idea either.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's do it. Test taking techniques, content, series 6. We go over 6 different exams, 6 questions, 6 answers. We're going to get this thing done. Brandi's going to go over it with a little bit of content, some techniques that you learned, some keywords, all the stuff that we learned in the Studying Brew all week long, all tied up in 6 questions, 6 answers. Like I said, learn how Brandi does it. Watch her, how she breaks them down. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Start off with. All right, let's go. All right. Production workers' average weekly hours, inventories, average duration of unemployment in weeks, and outstanding commercial and industrial loans. Okay, just notice this right now. Boom, boom. Right? 2 averages. I know it's not like the beginning, and I know it's not at the end. Oh, yeah, that does have an end. Right? So that's what's up, right? So I'm going to look at the question. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to do this. Hold on. Yeah, I need to look at the question first. Oh. All right. It says, which of the following is a leading economic indicator? So I'm looking for something that starts, right? So if we look, we have outstanding. That's not starting.
Outstanding.
That's not
No,
starting.
that's not.
Duration, not starting. So by C, by D. Now, if I was playing the game of the opposites or the ones that are similar, because A and C both had the word average in it, then A is the answer. Now, let me explain how we could get there really
I was going to
quick.
say inventories isn't a starter either.
Why? Because you first have to produce to fill the inventory.
Right. You don't automatically start with things on the shelves. I'm sorry if you're an adult and you thought that when you walked into Target that magical things happen and that's how it appears on the shelf. No, folks. People have to make it first.
Right.
I don't know what country, but they have to make it first.
That's legit.
Might be a dude in Bangladesh. Might be in America. I don't know. They got to make it somewhere.
So technique-wise, A is the answer. Logically, outside of securities, A is the answer.
We just showed you 2 ways to figure and get A.
Yes. A is the answer.
Common sense, outside of securities.
There you go.
And then also with a little bit of securities.
There you go. Little bit. Actually, that's not even securities.
Not at all. Except that you need to know leading and starting.
Yeah.
But I think that's not a really big deal because if you think about it, who's in the lead? The one that already started.
Exactly. Okay. Without the inheritance tax exemption being eliminated, I don't know. Like, look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. It has been a long week.
It has.
It has been a long day.
It has.
There's a lot of words on the screen.
There is.
I will say that this is a number and it piqued my curiosity, right?
When it piques my curiosity and I'm taking a quiz just for the funsies of it all, I would have picked C.
Also, I see the without and the without.
As George Clinton used to say, for the funk of it.
Yes. And then I saw this and I was like, oh my.
I ain't got time for that.
All right. So I did see TOD and I do know what TOD stands for, transfer on death. And I also know the definition. So I always ask myself, can I get to the right answer without knowing that? And then I saw the actual question. This type of account allows the client's directly owned securities to pass to a beneficiary upon her death. I don't know why, but that told me
That's all you need to know.
that was the connection that I saw. Now, I know that transfer on death means that, but I was looking at it doesn't sound like an exemption being eliminated. It doesn't sound like written authorization. It doesn't sound like the gift tax return form. So
A little bit of content in your life tells you it's going to be to avoid probate.
yes, TOD, avoid probate.
If you don't know that, write that on a scrap paper, put it on your refrigerator, commit it to life, because that's a great thing that you should probably look into.
Also on every exam.
And it's on every exam.
Yes. Okay.
The more you know.
Yep. Yep. Okay. This answer, I've got required, not. The answer's A.
Boom. No thinking. But let's talk about it. Why is it registered? Who cares?
Because they intend to do business in state A.
That sounds like a Series 63 type question, or 26.
Well, actually 63, 26, and 65.
Yeah. Those registered, required to register state A. Is it in state B?
Did you see how
Guys, that was answered with techniques, no thinking.
Yeah. That's it. So if you were taking your 63 tomorrow, that's what I would do.
If you were taking a 63 in Milwaukee, Oregon.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
At some time tomorrow.
Convertible, cumulative, non-cumulative, statutory, cumulative, non-cumulative. These two are opposite of each other. Bump, bump. Which type of preferred stock requires any dividends that are in arrears to be paid before? To be paid sounds like it's not the non, because non means not. Mm-hmm. So they're paying them. So they're cumulative.
I love Eric. He gave me an actually. Actually, it's not in Milwaukee. It moved to Hillsboro. Sorry, it was in Hillsboro. I like how he pushed his glasses up. That was a total push up the glasses.
I would do that too, because that's like a mic drop.
Boom.
Anyways, did you guys see what I just did there? That makes sense. Yep. It's not the non. It's not the non. All right. Obviously, we're talking about risk.
Yes, we are.
Right? Okay. So I'm scanning for something that stands out in each statement. And it says an unexpected action, legislature, war, and interest rates.
War. What is it good for?
Does that make sense? So like I'm looking for something that's going to stand out so that way I can go look in that question and go match it up.
Yeah, that's I think these are what we call keywords, and it definitely will pop when you see the question. And that's why we look everybody, if anybody gets like frustrated with the fact we read the answers first, this is exactly why we read the answers first. It leads to reading the question with intent.
Yes. So I'm gonna write this.
Look now something we are on a word search.
Different in each.
A word search is a lot easier to read the question with instead of trying to figure out
Exactly. Investor considering making an investment in an equity security has researched the regulatory risk involved with owning securities. Regulatory, boom, legislature, regulations, laws. The answer is B.
It almost has like 3 red flags of saying pick me, pick me.
Yeah. Political.
I would look for like an election,
would be more like
leader, another country. Something like C. Yeah. War.
Yeah. Something like that.
There you go.
Okay. Charging a client a reasonable fee. I like reasonable. That's always good, right? Borrowing money. Ooh, that's risky, except for it's from a financial institution that's engaged in the business of lending funds. You can borrow money from people who are in the business of lending money. So it's okay.
Yeah, that sounds like that's what you would do.
Yeah, like if you're just so happens that KonaButterflyz mortgage lender loan people have that's your client, not Andy from KonaButterflyz mortgage loan lender people, but the lender themselves just so happens to be your client and you want to borrow money from them to buy a house, it's okay.
Yeah. It would not be okay if you're going to Vic at Moe's Tavern to go borrow money from.
Correct. Okay. Having an advisory contract clause which waives compliance. What?
Yeah,
With
that's
any provision of the. So you're basically saying that you're going to sign a contract that says you could do whatever.
rules, smools.
This
Rules are for losers.
This is that sounds weird. And then asking a client to sign a pre-dispute arbitration agreement. Dude, we do this at the doctor's office every time we go in now, right?
Yeah.
So this is okay. So then the answer is C, because C is different. It's the only one that's really bad, right? And then you get to the question and it says that for investment advisors, which of the following business practices is unethical? You can't say, please sign this clause so that I could basically
do what I want.
Fraudulent.
Hey, when it comes to picking things for you, I got it.
Don't question.
We barely like people to pick our clothes, let alone do that.
Yeah. So no way. So you can't waive compliance.
Some of us, we should probably have someone else pick our clothes, but this is not the case. Anyhow, we did it. We made it. We got through it.
We did.
And if you are having to have an exam tomorrow in what is now Hillsboro, Oregon, maybe stay afterwards if you have any last minute questions or if you got anything for tomorrow, we can answer that because you are on live with us, and that's the benefit of being here with us. Tomorrow we've got member sessions. We got the SIE live going over options. We've got all exams for everyone right after that.
Yes.
And I think we even have a study hall tomorrow.
Yes, right after the all member session.
We even have a study hall tomorrow for everybody. Today's study hall was pretty awesome for the one person that showed up.
That's right.
Got a one-on-one.
Yeah, she did.
Got a nice free one-on-one. A whole like study with Brandi for an hour.
Yep.
Pays to show up.
That's
pays to be a member.
Yeah.
So we will not have the Studying Brew tomorrow night. We will be back Monday, but we will see all you members Friday and Sunday. As always, stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. Keep the positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you all so much for being on. We so super appreciate you. Practice techniques and keywords in your quizzes. Promise it will help you. See you guys next time. Have a great one.